So we're back with speedrunning Braid. It's World 3 now. So here we go. Time and mystery. So there's more tricks to this world definitely than World 2. So this is the first one. What you want to do is you want to jump and then you want to turn around so you don't land on the other side but almost. Like that. You land on the key and then you do an X2 rewind. I didn't do an X2 rewind, I only got one. I messed that one up. I did this in one setting, so it's not a perfect run, or else it would have been a world record. And then you keep moving. So yeah, that's pretty easy. Here, you want to move a little bit to the right before you go to the left. And it's not because it saves any time in itself, but it's because if you go to the left first, right away, you're going to hit a Goomba. So you want to get a better cycle. So you go to the right a little bit first, because then when you rewind, you're closer to the door. So like this. That was a little too far. I wouldn't go that much far to the right. I messed that one up a little bit. And it actually shows here because right now, if I hadn't gone that far to the right, I could have landed in front of this Goomba, but he's getting so close now that I have to go over him, and that takes a little bit extra time. So I don't like that. And then you do an X8 rewind here, and you try to stop as close to the door as possible. You got to practice that. And then you do some nice turnarounds, and there we go, next level. This next level, you want to jump right away. You usually want to do that anyway to gain acceleration from frames. So if you're just used to that, then you can just go ahead and do that. So jump right away, grab the vines, and just try and jump at the very tip of this one. You have to wait a little bit in the air, and then just keep going. This one's quite simple. This one is interesting because you don't want to climb the vines for long, so just go straight up and jump as soon as you are on top. So you get off the vines quickly so you can start running on the platform instead. I like to run on this one and then just bunny jump off this one. If you don't know what bunny jump is, watch the previous part. Now this is important. You want to go to the far end of this cloud, even in the air, and try and jump in the air. You can jump for 12 frames after you left a platform. The reason you want to do this is that you get closer to this next cloud coming, and if you fail it, you can retry it at least 2, 3, or 4 times without losing time, because this cannon is green, so rewinding time doesn't make it go any slower. So I got it nicely at the first try there. That was a nice little air jump. Let's look at that again. Like I jump like all the way out here. That's an air jump. And if you miss that, if you jump too late so you just fall down, you can rewind and redo it. Don't rewind a lot though, just a little bit. And then you just freeze time in the air. If you're using a computer, you freeze time by holding shift and then just pressing up once. That's how you freeze time. I'm not quite sure how to do it on the Xbox controller. You wait till the cloud is right under you, just the tip of the cloud, but you have to wait for longer than you might think. And you jump right away, and you want to try and hit the edge of this cannon. I think I failed it here. Yeah, and get a speed boost. I was too far to the left. Okay, so here's a couple of interesting parts. So you go straight up to the ladder, you go down here. You want to jump at this flower, like that, and you want to try and land to the very left part of the switch. So you go for the switch, and I like to push the Goomba across like that, try and give him some extra speed with the platform, but it's not usually very effective, so you don't really have to do it this way. And then as soon as he's over on the other side, you pull the switch, you jump, and you don't want to be on the platform for too long because you lose speed when you run on it. So as little as possible, and if you are not very long on the platform, you're going to be able to get this key quite easily when you have to even wait for it a little bit. Now you want to do another jump like you did in the first level, where you jump all the way almost across and then you turn around like that. So you can do an X4 rewind here, like that. You want to jump between these two just to see if you can get a speed boost like that. And here comes a very difficult trick. And this trick is going to be the first trick that has a casual way of doing it, which I will explain in another video, but this is going to be the pro way of doing it. So you jump, you just stay on the ladder for just a little bit. You just need him to be on the ladder a little bit. And you go back down again. And then you press the lever, you rewind in normal speed, like about this far, and you go back again in normal. I'll show it to you afterwards. You go back again in normal speed, and you go for the lever again, and now you rewind fast, like X times 4, until you're on the ladder, and then you walk up, like that. That's a little bit tricky, but you'll learn it. And now what you want to do is you want to jump from the very end of this next platform. And see, I fail it, so I rewind and do the other jump. And as soon as you get the piece, you rewind times 1, until you get all the way to the beginning of your jump, but not too far, but you want to be like right there at the beginning of the jump. And then you release the rewind, and then you turn around right away in the air. And you might have to adjust in the air a little bit, and then you should land on the ladder, and I mean on the switch. You should press the switch, rewind ×2, land on this thing again, and then you get a nice little speed boost. Let's look at that again, the whole trick from the beginning. So stick to the ladder, switch, rewind ×1, switch, rewind ×4, go to the end, like that, jump, rewind to the very beginning of the jump, turn around, adjust in air, switch, and there you got it. So that's a difficult one to pull off. I'll show you a casual way of doing that. All this jumping is quite unnecessary, by the way, that I'm doing right now. You just want to not land on the rabbits if you can avoid it. Now here comes something that's a little bit, so the first part there is very easy. Now here comes the tricky part. It's not too tricky, but what you do is you climb up this ladder, and this is only for speedrunning. You wouldn't do this if you were playing the game normally. So you climb up the ladder. As soon as you're on the top or over the platform, you stop climbing. You land, and you stand there for a split second. Then you start climbing the ladder again, and as soon as you start climbing the ladder, almost as soon as you start climbing the ladder, you jump and you move right. You have about 8 frames to do this. So it's very soon. So just take a look at it. So yeah, I failed it. I jumped too late. That was jumping too late. So let's try again. Jump too late again. Try again. There we go. So that gets you an extra high jump, and it's called a ladder glitch. So I'll be referring to that as a ladder glitch because it is a glitch. It's not supposed to happen that way. Now the reason I said all this jumping was unnecessary is because you have to wait for this plant to go down, usually anyway. I was a little bit late now because I messed up the ladder glitch. What was that? Oh, Facebook is up. Hang on just a second. There we go. Okay. Now, depending on how well you clear that plant that came up, it depends on if you should jump off of this cannon or just walk and then jump. But you're just going to have to figure this out. Unless you clear the plant really close, then you should just walk and then jump. Unless you just jump. So you usually just jump on the tip of the cannon like that. That usually works. So you jump, you avoid to get hit. Now, usually, you will get hit by this green cannon if you have not rewinded any. But I did rewind time twice because I failed the ladder glitch, so it doesn't hit me. So if you rewind the ladder glitch once because you fail it, you don't really lose that much time because you still have to rewind just a tad to not get hit by that cannon usually. And here comes another ladder glitch. This one is slightly more difficult because you're timed with these cannonballs. If you want to, you can rewind a little bit to make sure that the 2 cannons sync up so that you only get every other cannonball, because then the green cannon would shoot some of the cannonballs of that other cannon. But I'm not going to show how to do that here. So you go up the ladder, you wait for an opening, and as soon as you're open, you go further up, you land, and then you do the ladder glitch again. And you don't really need a high jump here at all. You can jump like right off the like you can just go for like a couple of frames and then jump, and you still get on top of this platform like that. And you turn around, get the key, and as soon as you land, you want to press down to start climbing the ladder so you don't get hit by another cannonball. Let's watch that again in normal speed. Like that. Okay. Now, this level is actually more difficult than it seems because there's 2 things you don't want to do. You don't want to rewind time at all in the very beginning because then you're gonna have to redo the whole level. That's why it's called irreversible, because the platform system you see around top of you is gonna get, the one platform's gonna get locked. So you don't want to die, so you don't have, if you have to rewind time, you have to restart the level. You rewind all the way back and you go in and out of the door to restart the level. Another thing you want to do is you have to kill this rabbit. You don't have to kill the Goombas, but you have to kill this rabbit. So just learn how to kill that rabbit. And you just go, and this is also important, you want to climb this ladder down for a couple of frames before you hit space or before you jump down it, or else you're going to get jumped straight up the hole again, lose your timings because of the ladder glitch. So you go, see, I walked quite a bit down. I walked quite a bit down before I hit jump, and you have a lot of time, so there's no problem. So you land here, you got to clear this right away, no problem, but you have to wait on this one. It's only the task room that doesn't have to wait on this one, and it's incredibly difficult to pull off. So you have to wait on this one. This is also another important part. Let's just look at this. I could have jumped earlier there. How did I, oh, hang on, how did I rewind again? There we go. See, I could have jumped earlier here. I'm jumping kind of late, and there's a reason for that. You want to jump when the plant is like halfway down, like that. You want to do a tad rewind here, just a little tad. The reason I did that is because now my timing for these plants should be pretty good. So this first plant is very easy because it doesn't come up at all. So you just want to make sure you don't grab the key. You just want to jump, don't grab the key, and then you run, and then you jump again. And then I have the timing right because of the top plant there on the other level. So you run all the way down here. You can do an X4 or an X8 rewind here, but the X8 is a little bit tricky to pull off without losing time. So I'm just going to do an X4 now. So rewind X4, land right here again, open this door, have to wait for this plant. You don't really have to be too fancy with this plant. Rewind, and then you grab the piece. Okay. Here's the easy part, and that's just climbing back up again. This is, you don't have to be particularly fast here either because you have to wait for another cycle on top. So, okay, here comes the tricky part again. So you go off the ladder, you jump right away like that, and then you wait. Like, see, I turned right a little bit. You wanna lose a little bit of time because you have to wait for this plant. So you want to time this plant really well. And that's difficult, and I don't really have like a set way of doing it. I just kind of gotten in the rhythm of doing it, so you just kind of have to figure that one out yourself. If you time the plant well, the Goomba will kill the rabbit, which will save you a lot of trouble. And then you will have to jump here, and you will either kill the guy who's flying right at you, or you will kill the guy who's right in front of you. You will kill one of them, and regardless of which one you kill, you pretty much do the same thing anyway. So now I killed the guy who was flying at me. I usually actually kill the guy who's walking. So you want to turn around in the air while you're grabbing this piece. Oh, and then I kill that guy, which is actually not that normal for me to do. So I was kind of surprised. So I had to readjust a little bit here. But what you want to do is you want to be fast, so you can jump on this guy and get over the plant like that. That's the fastest way of doing that. So let us watch that, the whole ordeal in rewind. So clear the plant nicely, kill the rabbit, kill one of those two. Be fast here so you can hit this guy. There we go. Okay. And yeah, there's some more speed boosting stuff, but no biggie. Okay. Depending on how well you do on top, you have to clear this cannonball, and it can be a little bit trolly, and you're just gonna have to get used to this one. Yeah, there's a rabbit here, just watch out for that. You can get a head boost right here, and you want to start jumping on the gold flowers here. And just jump, because then you land nicely on this guy's head. Okay, here comes an interesting trick that I think I fail in this one, but let's look at it nonetheless. So you run, and then after this red part that Tim is standing on top of now, you want Tim to be all the way to the right of that red part, like that. And then you jump, you just hold right, and then you start holding left like crazy. You hold like really hard left, and then you hold right again. Yeah, I got it there. That one's actually more difficult than it seems, at least for me. So let's look at that again. Right, left, right, like that. And you want to start jumping. You want to start jumping like after Tim has completely passed the little red thing on the ground. Okay, now here comes this boss. So you want to go, if you look at the background, there's a table. You want Tim to be on the first table leg, and then you turn around on the table leg, and then you wake up the guy, like that. And then you hit down on one of the chandeliers. You keep moving to the right. That's very important. Keep moving. And as soon as the chandelier is on top of this guy, you want to hit shift like a ton of times, just really fast. Just tap shift like a lot of times. Just see how many hits you can get off. I got 3 hits off. Okay, good. And then you want to jump as you're, let's look at that. You want to, the next chandelier right here. The way you want to release this is by jumping. And you want to land. The spikes on top of the boss's head will kill you, but the rest of him won't. So you want to land just right to the spikes of his hat or his helmet thingy, like there. And you want to keep going up and down until it dies. And you really want to do that in 2 cycles and not more than 2. So you got to practice that. Jump through the door, not to get the door glitch that I talked about in the first video. Yeah, okay, now here comes probably, yeah, this is the most difficult part of World 3, but I'm going to explain it. So you run, you find a little crack in the ground, it's right there. Let me show you that again. There's a crack in the ground. There. I'm standing on top of it now. You find that crack. That's an important crack. And you find it, you turn around right after the crack, and then you jump from the right to the left from the crack, like that. You don't have to be super precise, but you got to be pretty darn precise about it. Now you have a lot of time here, because you have to wait for this Goomba to be under you. So I'm waiting for the Goomba, and as the Goomba is under, I just walk down the ladder that kills him without bouncing me up. So this is what you do. You go over to the switch, you pull the switch. As soon as you pull the switch, you do an X8 rewind. And when you, okay, this is going fast. When you go on the, okay, so I passed the green area right under me. As you're on top of the green area, you want to change the X8 rewind to a X1 rewind. So that's, I think it's 3 taps, shift 3 taps, but you can feel that out. And then he goes really slow, because then you can calculate how Tim will move in the air. So you want Tim to be in this position right here, as you see now. You can look at his tie, that it's almost in a right angle. It almost looks like a mathematically right angle. That's how you want Tim to be, in this position. So I think I adjust him a little bit back and forth now, and that's very difficult to do if you're not used to it. But you gotta learn to work the time both backwards and forward, and that's just get used to the controls there. So yeah, I kind of adjusted him there. You have quite a bit of time on you, but this is late. You wanna release it earlier than this. I'm still actually pulling this off incredibly, but this is late. So rewind here, yeah. And then you want Tim to be as far left as possible, especially now since I'm so far to the right. Like that. Let's just watch, I'm struggling here, and I can't get it, but remember that Tim can jump for 12 frames after he's been on a platform. That's how he can even jump in the air right now. So I want him to fall a little bit more before I jump. And I actually get this somehow. Like that, yeah. And then you go up the ladder, and then you turn left and you turn right and then left again to get the, oh, I messed it up a little bit, to get the key there. So let's look at that whole ordeal. And that was a little bit sloppy by me, but I think you're getting the gist of it. So on him, switch, ×8, and then ×1, and then I had it, I just didn't think I had it, so I messed it up. And then you want to, well, this is usually not as difficult if you get the first part right. I just had to have, yeah, this, I'm not freezing the video, this is actually in game. There we go, I miraculously pulled that one off. So that one's quite, that one has some leisure time to it. Okay, leash time, I mean. But I did lose a lot of time there, of course. The point of the whole trick is that you can get this piece now before the platform thingy falls down. And if you do things fast, you can get in front of this cannonball. And if you do it super fast, you can just keep going now. But I didn't, so I had to wait for the next one. But you get used to that. The important part there is this trick. And that's all of World 3. Thank you for watching. I'll do World 4 for next video.